beautiful. I feel like I'm in a carnival. Charlie Chaplin. Good morning, everybody. Charlie Chaplin wrote that beautiful rendition by Bienvenido, Yangco, Smile. So thank you so much. That was fun. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to those of you who are watching at home, and welcome to those who are here. I want to introduce who's here. Terry O'Hara on piano. Christina Brewer is our soloist today. Doug Taylor is our practitioner. And so we will be enjoying their music and prayer. And we're going to start with an opening prayer from Doug Taylor.
Good morning, everyone. Great to see you in this beautiful fall weather. Wasn't yesterday great? Wow. So I invite all of you here and those of you at home to fix your gaze on a spot in front of you, or you can go ahead and close your eyes. And as you sit in this place right here, right now, notice your feet on the ground. What does that feel like? Notice your body as it rests and is supported in a chair. Your legs, your back, your upper back, how your arms are resting. And just notice your breath as it enters and leaves your body. And as you pay attention and notice these things, I know that this is Spirit, universal source, making itself known right here, right now, in each and every one of us. And as I experience Spirit, universal presence, not only is it that connection and oneness with Spirit that I know I am a part of, and that I know that each and every one of us is a part of, not only are we connected and filled with that Spirit, but we are connected to each other in this beloved community. And I know today that Reverend Francis's words, I know that today the wonderful music we're going to hear, and I know today that the experience that each one of you will have will reveal this oneness, this universal presence. And so knowing this is true, I give thanks. And I'm so grateful to be part of this wonderful thing called life. And knowing that, I invite all of us to release it unto the law, knowing that it is done. And so it is.
Today, as you hear little voices in the back, our child care fell through this morning, so they're here with me.
Here's a song you might know, and please feel free to sing along if you like.
Child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are get brighter.
Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, when your world is much lighter. Someday, yeah, walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, it's bright.
things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Yeah. Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it all done. Someday, when your head is much lighter. Yeah. Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, when the world is much brighter. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, when your head is much lighter. Someday, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, when the world is much brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Right now. Right now.
Yeah, right now. Baby,
Right
you wait and see. Baby, you wait and see. You just
Right
see
now.
things are gonna be. You wait and see things are gonna be so much brighter. Right now.
Blast from the past there.
So we have a couple of things starting this week, and Doug Taylor is behind both of them. So I'm going to have him come up and tell you about creative living and the Science of Mind Circle.
Well, Reverend Francis, I am so glad to say that this community really believes in spiritual practices because the spiritual living circle is full. It's great. So there are 9 people who have said, hey, I want to keep practicing science of mind principles. And when we come together and learn from each other, we have that much more deeper understanding and experience of what the principles are sharing with us. So I'm so happy and glad and thankful that that has happened. The other class that I have the pleasure of facilitating or joining in with is called Creative Living. And in that class, it's a class to supercharge your affirmative prayer. And the way we're going to supercharge that is learning mindfulness techniques and neuroscientific practices that we know changes our brain, which opens us up to that which we call spirit and God and the power of life. So I do have a few spots open in that. So I encourage you, if you're interested, to go ahead and register for that as soon as you can. We start on Tuesday right here at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we will gather together safely with masks, etc. And if for some reason you can't make it, please email me, and we'll see about getting you on Zoom. So those are my wonderful announcements.
Okay,
Thank
and
you, Reverend
the other
Francis.
class is when?
The Spiritual Living Circle,
Uh-huh.
that happens on Wednesdays at 9:30.
Okay.
Right here also.
Okay, and that's free, and not only is it free, you get a copy of the online version of the magazine, and you get a 6-month subscription, so it's really kind of cool. And that's offered by our own home office as a way of introducing people to our principles early on. So both of these opportunities are wonderful, and I hope you avail yourself of them. Now, to the exciting thing that's coming up December 3rd. It's called A Night at the Round Table. And I've written a musical review. I have the script. And those of you who are planning on being in it, I would like to see you after this service and give you the script. It's not our first rehearsal. It's just to give you an orientation to what's ahead. We're going to try to have a gathering of the people in the show next Sunday at noon and run through the overview of the whole thing. If you're in the choir, there's two major songs that you'll learn. One is called It's Magic to Do, and the other one is the reprise from Camelot. So I think that's an easy enough assignment, but you start learning now, and then you can add all the movement we're going to put into it. There's going to be dancers and jugglers and hoop people and all kinds of additional characters that we're going to add to our own cast from CSL. So I think you'll find it a comedic experience. So that is the entertainment at a medieval dinner. And we'll be selling tickets soon to the round table. And I'm looking for sponsors as well. I'm looking for $300 sponsors. I want 15 of them. So we go in able to pay the Elks Club. We're going to be in a really wonderful spot with a stage. And I want to have about 100 people come to the event. So anyway, I think it'll be our major, we really need this fundraiser, I have to say that, to finish out the year. In good stead. It'll help us pay for some remodeling we want to do on the stage, some sound. We don't have portable mics anymore. They've all died on us, and so there's a need to fund certain items in the church. So anyway, plus we need to get together and have a really wonderful time together. And Bienvenido has just offered to play some medieval flute music as part of it. So, and Judy Grover is writing a song for Cavall, King Arthur's dog. And there's King Arthur, the middle-aged King Arthur. We have a young Arthur and a really old Arthur. So there's 3 Arthurs in the show. So anyway, come up just after the service for just a little bit. And I'll give you a script, and we'll talk about next week. Okay, so I think, are those the announcements? Am I forgetting anything? I think that's we've got a class coming up on the 12th, which some of you are registered for. That's Essential Earnest. If you have any thought of becoming a practitioner at any time in your future, in the next 3 years, you should take this class, because it doesn't come around very often, and it's required to become a practitioner. So Essential Earnest starts on October 12th, taught by Beverly Holland. And we're sending our prayers to Beverly because her husband had a heart episode in Durango, Colorado. They were going to do some tests down there, and so she's on her way back now as we speak, and he's doing better. And so we just want to keep him in our prayers. His name is Ken Olson, Bev Holland's husband. So those are the announcements. We're going to move into the song, Bless Us All. Thank you, Chris. The Muppet Christmas Carol. We celebrate Christmas year-round.
This is Baby Kermit's song. I know that's not his name, but he looks like Kermit, so I just call him Baby Kermit.
Life is full of sweet surprises. Every day's a gift. The sun comes up and I can feel it lift my spirit. It fills me up with laughter. It fills me up with song. I look into the eyes of love and know that I belong. Bless us all who gather here, the loving family I hold dear. every path will bring me back from where I roam. Bless us all, that as we live, we always comfort and forgive. We have so much that we can share with those in need we see around us everywhere. Let us always love each other and lead us to the light. Let us hear the voice of a reason singing in the night, and let us run from anger and catch us when we fall. Teach us in our dreams, and please, yes, please, bless us one and all. Bless us all with playful years, with noisy games and joyful tears. We reach for you and we stand tall, and in our prayers and dreams we ask you, bless us all. We reach for you and we stand tall, and in our prayers and dreams we ask you, bless us all.
So we've entered a new month and a new theme, and the theme for this month is Going Further Together. And today's title is An Abundant Divine Community. An African proverb reminds us that alone we can go faster, together we can go further. So we're reminded of the challenges we've faced this past year and how we stay revved up when there's still so much uncertainty, and how we keep a positive attitude going. As always, the answer always lies in our spirituality. And now is the time to put our principles into practice, probably more than ever before. October is traditionally the time in our church community that we look at issues of abundance. And the evolutionary vision of the Centers for Spiritual Living is that we envision a world where the kinship of all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. So you might ask, well, what is divine community? It's more than one person entering the same area. It's not a gathering of individuals coming together. It's an almost alchemical reaction that happens when we're reminded of who and what we are capable of being and becoming. And it also has to do with an understanding within the community about the nature of reality. And the nature of reality is that it is abundant. Science and spirituality are meeting in the quantum field, which is infinite, ubiquitous, and in constant motion. It has the potential for all things without being anything in particular. So the mystics have called it omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. And it's also known as abundance consciousness, which is thinking from, believing from, speaking from, acting from, and reacting from a place that will create a total new financial awareness, not only for you personally, but for our entire spiritual community. And this consciousness is everywhere, totally inexhaustible, and fully present all the time. And in some mysterious way, this no-thingness, which acts like a wave, particularizes into something, but not the same something. And in the East, it's called awareness, and in the West, we've come to call it intention. What makes the difference? Well, in quantum experiments, it's called the observer. That's you and me. So in deep spirituality, it's the ability to imagine and speak something into being that is different than what was before. That's what our treatment is all about. It's like playing with the substance or the Play-Doh of the universe with your own mind. So the key to the universe is intentionally observing something new in your mind as if it were already fully present in form. And the good news is that we found the key to the universe. The great news is that the universe was never locked. So in other words, there's a non-material energetic essence at the core of it all. And science now knows that there's more to form than the molecules and the atoms and the subatomic particles. They now know that there's a space between those things, and the space between is of great interest to them. In this place, in this space, there's a force that holds the particles together. And that is the non-material energetic essence, which is the core of it all. That is the substance that stands under everything. One of the early Christian symbols was the fish. You've seen it, it's kind of done in stylized form. But if you think about the fish, they really can't live separated from their environment of water. And it's a metaphysical metaphor for oneness with divine substance. So envision your hands as fins of a fish. And hold your fins up, let me see. Okay, what a nice variety of fins. Charles Fillmore writes in his book on prosperity, even though there seems to be material lack, there's plenty of substance, non-material, energetic essence for everyone. And we are standing right in the middle of it. Like the fish, we might ask, where's the water? When we live and move and have our being in it, in this wonderful, glorious substance. Now check in with yourself. Let's pretend we've unlocked our minds and hearts to receive the idea. Let's pretend we believe it. Not because we want to, but because we're prepared to act as though it were true. Do you need to wiggle your fins a little more? Just to get the idea that you are living in an abundant ocean, or do you need it to swim around a little to feel it? What new picture, if I were to ask you to create a new picture for your life right now in this community, what would it be? Are you making something new, or are you just repeating old patterns? Are you copying somebody else's patterns? We're talking about creating an abundant and prosperous life that includes financial health, financial freedom, and financial generosity. So it's about laying hold of the substance with our minds and realizing our oneness with it. So let's practice that a little bit right now. I'd like you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And let your body sink into this idea and think to yourself these words: I am one with substance. I am one with substance. And now I'd like you to picture something you would like to create for your life. And I want you to see it, not only for your life, but maybe you want to see something for your spiritual community or for the planet itself. Now let's practice seeing and observing it with intention, just for a few minutes. Just see it. And then give thanks by simply saying, thank you, Spirit. So the process again, and I'd like you to practice this week, is I am one with substance. Then see a picture for your life that you want to create. And then observe it as a reality for just a few minutes. And then say, thank you, Spirit. This is a practice you can do every day for even 5 minutes and watch what happens. Because we are co-creators and manifestors of the new, and we can do this. Because life is truly your masterpiece. And the truth is that we are unified with one living substance, which is God, your all-sufficiency. We're in the midst of it. And the etymology of substance is substare, which is a Latin word that means to stand under. So there's a substance that's standing under everything, or as Ernest Holmes would say, back of everything. And it's a living thing. It's not an inanimate accumulation of bread that doesn't satisfy hunger or water that fails to quench thirst. When we feast on it, we never hunger or thirst. This is an unfailing principle, just as sure as the workings of mathematics. And we can't be separated from our supply. God permeates the universe, and life permeates every cell of our being. And substance flows freely through us. So let's go back to our definition of abundance consciousness. What is it? It's thinking from, feeling from, speaking from, acting from, and reacting from a place that says, from substance I was created, in substance I live and move and have my being, and by substance I am fed and prospered. This is spiritual substance. It's immovable, enduring, and constant. So in Science of Mind, we practice spiritual mind treatment, which involves speaking our word for a specific outcome. The word is like a seed that's planted in that spiritual substance, or what Ernest Holmes calls creative medium, and it begins to move from wave, which is the thought, to the particle, which is the physical reality. Florence Scovel Shinn, who wrote The Law of Prosperity and How to Apply It, tells about how a woman came to her to speak the word or do spiritual mind treatment for her. And Florence said, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for this woman's right position." She was looking for her perfect right work. And Florence advises never to ask for just a job or a position or something like that, but for the right position, the right place that's planned in the divine mind as the one that will give satisfaction. And then she gave thanks that the woman had already received the offer and it would manifest very quickly. So very soon the woman was offered 3 positions, 2 in New York and 1 in Palm Beach, and she didn't know which one to choose. So Florence told her, ask for a definite lead. And I guess the way to define this is lead is equivalent to a sign, some sort of sign that you get, either through a dream or someone coming up to you and saying something, or even seeing a sign in your environment. That's a lead, a definite lead. So the time was almost up, and the woman hadn't decided yet on which of those 3 jobs to take. And one day she telephoned Florence Shinn and said, "When I woke up this morning, I could smell Palm Beach." She had been there before and knew its balmy fragrance. And Florence said, "Well, if you can smell Palm Beach from here, that's certainly your lead." So the woman accepted the position in Palm Beach, and it proved to be a wonderful match for her skills. So sometimes leads come at unexpected times. One day, Florence was walking down the street when she realized she felt a strong urge to go to a certain bakery. There was only couple of blocks away. So her reasoning mind protested. Does your reasoning mind ever protest things like this? Of course, it does. So she realized the reasoning mind said, well, there's nothing in that bakery that you'll want. So she learned not to listen to her reason, but follow her guidance. So she went to the bakery, looked at everything, but there was nothing that she wanted. But on the way out, she encountered a woman she had thought about often, who was in need of great help that she was able to give her. And they agreed on a time for them to meet. So often we go for one thing and we find another. And intuition is what Ernest Holmes called the direct link to God. It's a spiritual faculty, but it doesn't explain, it simply points the way. So I had a similar experience a few years ago, some years ago in Austin, Texas. I had a strong message to go to Coco's, which was kind of, I don't know what the equivalent is, sort of like Denny's, a little upscale Denny's in Texas. So to go, I was told to go there and to have a peasant soup bowl. They had bread that was filled with soup. So I had been trying to train my mind not to resist these messages. So my logical mind was saying, oh, that's stupid. But I had learned to follow these nudgings. And so I went to the restaurant. And as I came in the door, a couple was checking out. And the woman looked at me and said incredulously, Frances, is that you? My dimples are a dead giveaway. I said, yes. Well, we're the McDonald's that used to live down the street from you when you were growing up. I hadn't seen them in over 20 years. And Mr. McDonald was the city manager of the city of Dallas, and she said, you were always the leader. And that was a very uplifting message I was meant to receive at that time because I didn't know quite what career direction I would choose. So that was what you'd call a lead. So I love the idea from Florence Scovel-Chin that we can receive leads after we do a treatment. She was holding a class and she prayed for each specific request. And one of her students asked for treatment for a health issue, and she did that. And she did these treatments for all of her students, but she added while she was treating that each student would get a specific lead on what to do. And one woman said, while you were treating, I got this hunch to take my furniture out of storage and get an apartment. And the woman had requested to be treated for her health. And Florence told her that she knew in getting a home of her own, her health would improve. And she said, I believe your trouble is congestion from things being stored away. Congestion of things causes congestion in the body. So she gave thanks that divine order was established. And she was seeing substance formed into a specific but perfect outcome. So Florence Scovel-Chin uses 3 affirmations. And the first one is just for prosperity. And it's God is my unfailing substance and supply. That's it. God is my unfailing substance and supply. And then for a definite lead on that, she says, Infinite Spirit, reveal the way. Let me know if there's anything for me to do. Because we used to say, treat and beat your feet. There's usually something for you to do in the concrete world. So for a definite lead, Infinite Spirit, reveal the way. Let me know if there's anything for me to do. And the third is for guidance. And it's just, I am divinely sensitive to my intuitive leads and give instant obedience. And that's the key, not to let your rational mind talk you out of following the guidance. Eric Butterworth, in his book, Spiritual Economics, wrote, watch your spiritual priorities because the goal is to achieve the consciousness through which substance will flow when you need it. And that's what we want for all of us, I think. We have the consciousness through substance can come forth when we need and want and desire it. So there's two substantial ways to support opening wide to this abundance consciousness. The first is just to be grateful for substance in all the ways it expresses in your life, because gratitude increases flow. And the second thing is to affirm the good. We're going to be putting out an abundance journal this coming week, and so we'll have it available next Sunday. It's a 40-day practice with affirmations and then space for you to journal around those affirmations of prosperity. So attitude is truly everything. You can if you think you can, if you don't think you can, you can't. And the important thing is to expect the best, and the best will come to you. So I'd like to just do a closing prayer with you. So if you would close your eyes as we pray. Divine Spirit, I am filled to overflowing with the substance of joy and enthusiasm. I am an eternal optimist. I expect good, and good comes to me. I unify now with the positive vibrations of the cosmos. And so I know the entire universe confirms the wonder and reality of total abundance. I know that we are each individual expressions of divinity, that we are alive, alert, and awake with the joy, life, and substance of God. And I know that each moment is precious. I know that each moment we live our lives fully in our world of activity and in a world of activity and worthy endeavors. So we're here in this life to live, love, learn, and serve. And we are each individualized as creative actions of God. The free flow of life substance is surging through each one of us, filling us with spirit. And so our entire consciousness is filled with love for ourselves, for our spiritual community, and for the world. And our hearts beat with that same heart of the universe. Our minds are attuned to the vibration of the divine mind. We are bright, beautiful, and whole. So thank you, Mother, Father, God, for the talents and abilities you have given all of us. Thank you for the inspiration to keep growing. Thank you for using our lives to fulfill your purposes. As I release this word to universal law to bring about infinite abundance for all of us and for our spiritual community in the world. And so together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. God bless you. Thank you. So we have a song from Christina. This one is Imagine, the song that you know.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion to imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No greed, no hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Thank you. Okay, so we have our offering. And if the usher would come forward, we'll do our blessing together, which is in your program. So together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
music. Thank you. So again, we come to that time where we go within. So I ask you to fix your eyes on a spot in front of you, or go ahead and close your eyes if you feel more comfortable doing that. And with your eyes closed, bring to mind a time in your life when you really experienced and felt abundance. And this abundance could be small, or it could be large abundance. And really picture yourself in that place, feeling and experiencing that abundance. Notice what it feels like. And know that this abundance that you have experienced, whether in the past or right here and right now, is abundance of what God and Spirit is. This abundance is universal. And this abundance is available and for each and every one of us individually and in community. So silently say to yourself, I am abundant. And then think of someone you care about and someone in this community, and in your mind's eye say, you are abundant. And then spreading out to a larger community, we are abundant. This is the abundance in which we move, live, and have our being. And knowing that this abundance is mine here today, right now, and this abundance is each one of yours, I give thanks and I'm grateful for knowing that abundance is mine. That the words of Reverend Francis kindles this abundance in each and every one of us. That the music blesses each and every one of us and gives us the opportunity to imagine, as John Lennon encourages us. Imagine a world of total abundance in ourselves and around us. That is possible right here, now, today. And I know that we take this blessing, blessing each and every one of us, blessing all of us. We take this blessing with us today, and we go on our way safely, consciously knowing our abundance, individually and together. So thank you, Father, Mother, God. I'm so grateful, and I know that it is done, and that each and every one takes it with us today. And with that, together we say, and so it is. Blessed be.
So does anybody remember the 1961 Parent Trap? This movie is from the 1961 Parent Trap. We absolutely love it. It's called Let's Get Together. Let's get together, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't you and I combine? Let's get together, what do you say? We could have a swinging time. We'd be a crazy team. Why don't we make the scene together? Oh, let's get together, yeah, yeah, yeah. Think of all that we could share. Let's get together every day, every way and everywhere. And though we haven't got a lot, we could be sharing all we got together. Oh, I think you're really swell, we really ring the bell, ooh-wee. And if you stick with me, nothing could be greater, say hey. together, yeah, yeah, yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Let's get together right away. We'll be having twice the fun, and you can always count on me. A groovy twosome we will be. Let's get together, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in and for coming today. And those of you who are in the chorus or have a part in Night at the Round Table, just come up for just a minute. I want to give you a script. I've got them on the file cabinet back here, so come on up to the stage.